Which anime should I add to my reaction schedule? Click the link in the description to vote in the straw poll today. What's quaking, people? Count Richard Quake here, coming at you with another little special video. I'm going to show you how I edit my anime footage for copyright in my reaction videos. So if you want to support the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more otaku and nerd culture content. Alright, so what we have here is the basic footage for the entire episode of Season 1, Episode 16 of The 7 Deadly Sins. As you can see here, it's 20 minutes and 33 seconds long. We have the actual episode itself. We have system audio, which is the episode audio. We have my audio, which is my commentary over the video. And we have this top screen, which is my avatar right here. So the first thing I do, the very first step, is to take the system audio and we're just going to cut that out. And we're going to open up a new project. It's going to ask us to save this one because I haven't saved it yet. And this one we're working right now, we're just going to call this The 7 Deadly Sins 1x16 Uncut. And in the new project, we're just going to paste that system audio we cut and then immediately export it. Find music. And we're just going to call this The 7 Deadly Sins 1x16 audio. Let that render into a WAV file. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to open up Audacity. This is just the audio editor I use. You can use any other audio editor or DAW that you want. I use Audacity. It's free and it's simple. And we're going to import from my music file here 7 Deadly Sins 116 audio right here. So this is the audio for the entire episode. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the pitch. I dropped the pitch about 20%, as you can see, to lower it to where it's not insanely unrecognizable, but it is different. It's altered. That's done. Next thing I'm going to do is I add a little distortion. I add a soft overdrive to it, and that makes it just a little bit fuzzy and, well, distorted to further alter the audio and change it a bit. And then we export that as a WAV file. It's going to default to the name of the file we already started with, so we're going to go ahead and just replace it because I don't need the other audio anymore. And while that's rendering, we're going to go back here to the video editor software, and we're going to open up that 7 Deadly Sins Uncut project again. This is 1x16 Uncut. No, we're not going to save changes because I no longer need that project. It was just literally to export that audio. And now we're going to grab that audio file we just created, the edited audio, and we're going to put that in its place here. So now the episode audio should be altered. Definitely lower and fuzzy. So now we're going to drop the overall volume to about 19% is where I like to have it. So that part is done. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to create the subtitle bar. So I'm going to take the layer that's just the footage of the episode, copy it, and paste that copy as the very top layer up here so it covers everything else. As you can see, it covered my avatar and everything. So now we're going to scroll through the video, and what I like to do here is while I have a nice unblocked or unaltered footage layer on top, is to go through here and find a thumbnail for the episode. So there it is. So we're going to go ahead and export this frame to my YouTube anime manga 7 Deadly Sins folder. And we're going to use that as a thumbnail image for later. But now we're going to look for a section of subtitles that is 2 layers, like right there. 2 lines of subtitle, one on top of the other. That's usually the thickest the subtitles are going to be. Right there. That's good. So now I make it a little bigger so I can see. Make sure I turn off. Okay, canvas snapping is off. Okay, good. And now we're going to crop this layer just around the subtitles. Right about there, I think is good. And a little tip here. You want to also make sure that the bottom line has like P's or Y's or G's or something so that you can see the lowest level that line will dip to. Because if it's all top line and there's nothing that goes below the threshold of that sentence, you can have it like right up here, and then when like a P or a G comes along later, it's cut off. So you want to make sure it has some kind of letter that goes below the threshold there. If that makes any sense. Makes sense to me, so I'm moving on. Right there is good. So that's our subtitle bar. Now, a couple things I do to it. We're going to make the opacity 80% so you can kind of see through it. I just do that so you can see me through it. And then I'm going to add another little effect that I like to do. We're going to add a drop shadow just so it seems like it's kind of above the other footage. Right about there. Make it really dark. Make the offset about 30. Now we got ourselves a nice little drop shadow there. Okay. Now what we're going to do, since we have our subtitle bar, is we're going to flip the footage. So this is the actual track 1, the actual footage of the episode. We're going to take that and mirror it. So 180 degrees on the y-axis to flip it around. So now it's mirrored. The next thing we do is we're going to colorize it. Effect, visual effect, colorize. Now it's going to default to green. I like purple, so I colorize it to purple. So it just kind of alters the footage, so it's not quite the same. You're transforming it, as you will. Now let's make it a little smaller so I can see the actual tracks here. Because the next couple things we're going to do are going to be to alter the footage, to obstruct the footage, I should say. So the first thing we're going to do, if you'll notice, show you real quick, this bar here, since we made this subtitle bar a little translucent, you can see the subtitles of the original footage behind it. And it's mirrored, so it looks kind of muddy, and it kind of obstructs your view of that subtitle. And the subtitles are what I want to be the clean, clear, unobstructed part of this video. So the way we fix that, or the way I found to fix it, there might be an easier way, but I do all this self-taught trial and error. So if I help any of you out, I've succeeded. I'm going to insert a track above the main footage, below everything else. And this is just a little image I made in some photo editing software. It's literally just a black screen. So we're going to make that the entire length of the footage here. It's a black screen. See that? Now I want to make sure I do have canvas snapping on. And we're going to snap that to the corner down here. And then we're going to make it the full length of those subtitles. And then we're going to crop it down to the subtitle bar. And since we have canvas snapping on, it should snap right to that layer. So now we have a black bar that's underneath the subtitle bar here, but I'm on top of it, so you can still see me through it, but you can't see the original footage underneath it because the black bar is covering it. So you can't see the other subtitles flipped behind it. Right? That's my little trick for that. Now what I'll usually do, and I may just fast forward through this, but what I like to do, since I'm going to render all this into one track to make it easier to edit down, so I like to look through the whole episode and see if there are any subtitles on the top of the screen. Because every once in a while, you'll get parts of animes where there are subtitles on the bottom and the top of the screen because either two people are talking at the same time or for some other reason they can't have the subtitles at the bottom. So I like to just scroll through it to see if I can find any subtitles at the top of the screen. So I'm probably just going to fast forward through all this so you don't have to sit through it. All right, so I scrolled through the whole episode. We looked out. There are no top subtitles in this episode. So all we need is the one bar. Now we're going to further obscure the footage just so we have our best chance against those pesky copyright bots and whatnot. So I'm going to make another layer above the footage but below the black bar. Everything we do to obscure this footage should be below the black bar so that the subtitles are on top and you can't see anything through them besides me. So the first thing we're going to put is my little Gliscor image here. If you guys haven't been able to tell by now, my favorite Pokemon is Gliscor. He's kind of where I got my name from. So that's a story for another day. If you really want to know, comment down in the comment section. Ask me how Gliscor gave me my name, and I'll let you know. But we're going to change that to about 40% opacity. Boom. So you can see the footage, but it's a little obscured with almost like a watermark of Gliscor. But it doesn't obscure the subtitles. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add a little layer of fuzz. Now all this is a white canvas that I used an airbrush paintbrush on and just lightly did black airbrush over it so that it's kind of like just a foggy, fuzzy filter, like a makeshift filter. And then I'm going to make that opacity 60%. Boom. So now I have like a fuzzy filter and a Gliscor watermark over a colorized mirrored image. This video should be ready to render now. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, it's 20 minutes and 33 seconds long. So in order to make it copyright compliant, I have to cut it down to no more than 10 minutes of footage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to render this video into one video. So it's going to be one track that I will then come in here, put it in this editor, and then just slowly chop it up until I get that end time down to 10 minutes or less. The reason I render this first is because, look, we have 8 tracks. If I have top subtitles, that makes it 10 tracks. It is a pain to sit there, watch a video. She just killed it. And then just, okay, stop, cut right there, cut and delete 8 to 10 different tracks, and then do that over and over and over again until I get it down to 10 minutes. That is a pain. So it's much easier just to have one track to cut up. That's why it's very, very important that I get all of this right. I make sure I don't screw up on the subtitle bar and obscure some subtitles. I make sure that I don't miss any top subtitles that end up not being flipped so you can read them. It's really important because it takes about an hour to render this. So if I render this and then I find out that what I rendered is messed up in some way, I rushed through it and didn't notice something, I didn't notice some top subtitles, or I put the audio levels wrong for something, I'm going to have to double check this to make sure. But then I have to redo it and re-render it because I have no way of editing it once it's part of one rendered video. But the pros of that method are, like I said, it's so much faster and simpler to edit. So anyway, guys, that's my trick. That's how I obscure my videos for copyright. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Follow me on all the social medias and links are down in the description below. Join my new Discord server. Coming out and chat with us. That link's in the description below as well. Until next time, guys, I've been Count Richard Quake, and I hope you